Hello, my name is Dr. Scott Wofford, and I would like to thank the Acceleration Education Summit for allowing me to speak today. I'm here, I would like to share my story about what education has done for me and what I've tried to do through the years to show that as an adult learner that there are many opportunities to be able to go back to school even if you are a full-time employee. I personally grew up in a very small town of 450 people, a small farming community where, quite frankly, we were lucky if we could go to college. And back in those days, the opportunity to go to college was very rare, but I was fortunate enough to get to go to college and get a bachelor's degree. Back in those days, getting a bachelor's degree was good, but I chose to go to graduate school and was able to get a graduate degree in physical therapy and also a degree as a chiropractor. And I have practiced for 28 years. While being a chiropractor, I was on the Texas Chiropractic Association State Board and actually was an executive officer for 3 years, as serving on that board 18 years. During that time, I saw a lot of, in my opinion, discrepancies on how certain healthcare providers were paid and others were paid very well versus not paid and sometimes very discriminatory. And so I kept researching and looking, and the more I was involved in the legal process, quite frankly, I learned that there were a lot of, in my opinion, injustices. But one thing I did like about the political arena is that there are opportunities to make changes. And one of those opportunities that I chose to do was to be able to create an online education learning system at that time for chiropractors to go back and become family nurse practitioners. In my opinion, chiropractic is absolutely the greatest healthcare model in the world. It allows people to, as I'd say, get sick people well without having to use the use of drugs and or surgery. But sometimes we need to be able to combine both allopathic medicine and alternative medicine or healthcare. In 1989, when I graduated chiropractic college, the rules were much different than they are today, as far as there was no managed health care and there were no insurance companies telling you what you can and cannot do. So in some ways, I felt like practitioners were getting their hands tied behind their back and not actually being able to try to get their patients well. So in 2007, I founded MidAmerica Learning, which is an online education system for chiropractors to go back to school online and become family nurse practitioners. Now, this was at that time pretty revolutionary. Nobody had done this before. In fact, online nursing was just in its infancy. And as far as I know, there may have been one college, possibly two in the country. But what we did, I believe, is lay the groundwork down for what now is literally countless numbers of schools that has online healthcare education. And I'm very proud to say that we have been very, very successful in what we've done. We've had literally hundreds and hundreds of graduates that have gone on to absolutely increase their income potentials, create and actually make more money, and they have the ability to help their patients. And that was ultimately the most important thing, is give your patients a better healthcare opportunity. In laying down this foundation years ago, though, it was quite a struggle, because at that time nobody knew what online education was like, and especially in the healthcare arena. Many people felt like that having online healthcare at that time was just wrong, that you could not learn to be a healthcare provider with distance education. And my, has that changed now, which we know now that many of the learning applications are better. And we have had such a high level of success with our graduates and with the people who have gone through these programs. We know that as an adult learner, you may be working full time and you may have a very, very busy schedule, but we have proven through many, many times in all of our graduates that you can work full time. that you can go to school and get a very good degree and, quite frankly, be successful and accomplish these goals. We feel like we laid the foundation many years ago when there was no foundation to lay, and quite frankly, again, we were looked upon with a lot of frowns. But we were proven that we were successful in what we were doing, and we had a good model. For me personally, it's been gratifying to know that, see, the many stories of the adult learners when people say it can't be done, and yet they prove to themselves and the rest of the world that yes, we can do it. I know many of you think, well, I'm too busy and it's too hard and it's hard to go back at my age. Well, I've seen our students in the 40s and 50s go back, and maybe even older than that, and they accomplish these goals. I'm here to tell you that it can be done. And the Acceleration Education Summit is just a great avenue for people to learn how important it is to continue their education. Education is the key to life. And in my case, I knew, quite frankly, it was my ticket out of a small farming town, which there's nothing wrong with farming, but I wanted to have the education to give me the ability to live my life as I wanted to live it. And online education has actually allowed me to further that. And I've continued my education processes, and quite frankly, I still do online education. It is amazing the opportunities that are out there. I cannot encourage you enough, but please, if you say, I am too busy, there's not enough time, I would choose to argue with you, because we've had we've had students go through our program that were literally working 40, 50 hours per week, seeing patients, and I'm talking about working really hard. But guess what? They persevered and were successful. I really, truly would encourage you to do this, because success is easily attainable. And this summit is going to allow you to look at your opportunities. And I know you are sitting there looking at me saying, well, he's saying it can be done that easily. And no, there's always going to be a challenge. But the challenges are what make it so worthwhile. It's such a rewarding experience. Know that you have the opportunities to do things. Quite frankly, when I started college, we're not there. There are so many more programs that are there than when I went to college. These programs allow you to literally choose nearly any endeavor that you would like to do. It's virtually limitless in the capabilities of what we have to do to educate ourselves to be truly effective in our workforce today. So in closing, I would like to truly encourage you to take advantage of this summit. Learn all that you can, and please do not think you can't do it, because it can be done. Thank you very much.